Once upon a time, there was a fisherman who lived in a faraway land. Ikenga was a poor fisherman who lived with his wife in a small hut. One morning, he set out to the village river for fishing as usual. He went to his trap, hoping and praying for a big catch. But unfortunately, that was not the case. He was disappointed to see a very little fish caught in his trap. He took the fish out of the trap and battled with the thought of letting it back into the river or taking it home. He then made up his mind to appreciate his luck this time and hoping for a better catch next time. He put the fish in his basket and decided to go home with it. He saw other fishermen who caught nothing on his way back. Just a few steps away from the riverbank, he heard a voice that pleaded to be put back into the river. He turned back and looked around, but didn't see anyone. As he tried to move again, he heard the same voice louder this time, pleading to be set free and back into the river. And then he realized it was the fish that has been speaking all this while. He watched in shock as the fish spoke again, pleading and promising to grant him as many wishes if he set it free. Frightened, he thought for a while whether he had anything he would wish for, since he seemed happy with all he's got. But he decided to let the little fish back into the river. Besides, who would want to eat a fish that could speak? He thought to himself. The goldfish was very happy at Ikenga and promised to grant him any wish whenever he came to the river and asked as it went back into the river. When Ikenga got home and told his wife about it, she became very angry why he came back home empty-handed with such stories. She demanded he went back to the fish and wished for a big house if his stories were true. Ikenga went back to the river as his wife demanded. He called out to the little goldfish and told it what his wife had wished for. The goldfish happily told him his wish was granted and asked him to return home and he will meet his wife in his new beautiful big house. The fish also reminded him he could come back whenever he needed anything else. Ikenga hurried back home to meet his wife in a very big house, and they were very happy all day. The next day, his wife complained again why a big house like theirs doesn't have big properties and demanded he went back to wish for this. He went back to the goldfish and asked for big and expensive properties as his wife has demanded. The little fish smiled and told him to return home as his wish has been granted. He got home and really his wish was granted. The next day, she complained of not having mates. Ikenga went to the little fish and the wish was granted. The next day, she complained of not having security guards since they now have expensive things and can be robbed at any time. Her husband returned to the river and again the wish was granted. This went on and she asked for practically everything. One day she went to her husband. This time she complained they now have everything and richer than everyone in the village including the king, and asked her husband to go tell the goldfish he deserved to be the king and his wife the queen. Ikenga was not happy at this. The king was a good man, he thought, but to make his wife happy, he decided to go. When the goldfish heard what Ikenga has wished for, it became very angry at Ikenga and his wife, as this was indeed a very bad thing to do. The little fish saw that Ikenga's wife was never satisfied, no matter what wish it granted. It then angrily told him to return to his previous home and remain as poor as he was with his wife. Ikenga returned home and met his wife in their old house. They both regretted as his wife cried she should never have been too vain. The end.